about the people using the wrong term again. 45,000 likes. And I was like, that's crazy. This is just pure unadulterated racism against a U.S. Congresswoman sitting at 34K likes at the time. Now it's at 45K likes. Okay? Which, you know, Twitter is a cesspool of just absolutely the worst kind of racism, especially when it comes to like Muslim people. Ilhan Omar is like a target, right? No matter what. She has consistently been attacked. People constantly like they'll mistranslate what she's saying. They'll attack her. They'll say like she's she's a I got scared. No, I don't want her to like bite herself or lick herself. Anyway, yeah. Kaya. Good girl. I got worried. I thought she was licking her teat, but she wasn't. I thought she was licking her teat, but she was not doing that. I was worried though for a brief moment because she's not supposed to. Is she on any meds? No. She's fine. She's perfectly fine. She is she's like fake pregnant. She's not actually pregnant, but she's not supposed to lick her nipples. So people have like often lied about Ilhan Omar, as I was saying. They've said that she's like married her brother, blah blah blah, like all this stuff, and it's really worrisome. It's really shitty, and it's really shitty for two reasons. One, because like this level of pure unadulterated racism is completely permissible in like mainstream discourse. From the Republican side, and even the liberals, like, in my opinion, don't engage with it enough to defend Ilhan Omar because they themselves are also ridiculously aggro against her too. And it is deeply frustrating to me, especially. I hate it. I hate it so much. Okay. I remember people did the go home racism when I was a kid. The more tragic than you think. It just goes to show nothing has moved on, nothing has changed. Yeah, I get the go home shit all the time. It's really stupid. Like nonstop. I get it nonstop, right? And even when you think, and I've been getting it from liberals like nonstop recently, but even when you think that that it's not going to impact you or upset you, it still, I guess it still like lingers on in the back of your mind, where it's like there's like a otherization that is accompanying this, where it's just like, fuck you, you're like, you don't belong here, you're like lesser, you know what I mean? And obviously I'm not, and neither is Ilhan Omar. The other problem here is that people will like go to these lengths to defend even the likes of Matt Walsh. The problem is that she was being an irredentist Somali nationalist in that video. Okay, call her the N-word. Okay, call her the N-word. I'm a Somalilander. I don't give a shit what you are. That, in the eyes of Matt Walsh, being a Somalilander or being Somali is not, is not any different. Okay, there is no world in which like you can't comprehend this. A lot of people, weirdly enough, don't recognize it. Okay? Like, what do you mean? That is not the argument to Ilhan Omar's sentiments about Somaliland. Okay? Do you understand? The argument, the counter is not to go, well, I'm going to call you the N-word now, or I'm going to tell you should go back to Africa. Okay, this is not a response to whatever Ilhan Omar said. Do you understand? No, Fossabot clapped. Fossabot clapped the Somalilander. Okay. No, for the chatters that don't understand what's going on, the reason why Mahad Hurs is saying this about Ilhan Omar is because of the original clip. Okay, the original clip that came out. Somaliland and Somalia are different. Okay, there is a ongoing conflict. I'm not even going to get into the major details here. The point is that a clip came out of Ilhan Omar talking about Somalia and Somaliland, I believe, right? And yes, it is a breakaway state. But that's not the point. I'm not even talking about that. Okay? I'm not talking about what Ilhan Omar's statements are. Okay? What I'm talking about specifically is the retaliation to that should not be to claim that you are not a real American. Okay? Like, the retaliation to that is not, you're not a real American, go back to Africa. A person that says that, okay, a person that says that to Ilhan Omar does not give a fuck about the distinction, okay, on whether or not Somalia is engaging in irredentist actions or not. Does that make sense? Do you understand? That person does not give a fuck. Sometimes liberals will act like they care about these distinctions and justify racism. This is racist no matter what she said. Okay? Feel me? It would be like you saying it to Candace Owens because she's a white supremacist. Yeah. Like, there is no reason not to, like, you can always argue with your congresspersons. You can have difference in opinion with your congresspersons. Okay? This is perfectly valid. There is, however, a difference between that and Matt Walsh turning around and just being like, go back to Somalia. Okay? That's just pure unadulterated racism. This is not, there is no thing that, like, Ilhan Omar can say. There is nothing that Ilhan Omar can say that thinks that this makes it permissible or appropriate. A U.S. Congresswoman who has publicly proclaimed that she is Somali first and her main priority is to protect the interests of Somalians. If you can't see a problem with that, then you're dumber than I thought. She deserves to be arrested, expelled from Congress at a minimum. Wait, what? Anyway, I think there was here's the point I was going to make. It wasn't even about Ilhan Omar. It's about the same fucking energy and the same vibes, okay? Here it is. It's not appropriate. That's not what I was saying. No. I know what you were saying. You were saying Ilhan Omar is being a piece of shit for her sentiment about Somaliland, is what you were saying, okay? I understand that. But we're not talking about that currently. We're talking about a irrelevant reaction that has nothing to do with Ilhan Omar's statements and everything to do with Matt Walsh being a racist piece of shit and trying to elevate more racist sentiment. Okay, more trying to just do racism as commentary, and the ways in which a lot of people try to engage in post hoc rationalizations for why their racism is actually a substitute for good critique. Okay? He's actually right, though. She said it first. It's so, I see no lie in what he said. My entire quote retweets is literally filled to the brim with people being like, yeah, you're going to get fucking, we're going to cook you too. You're next. Like, you're next. You're getting deported next. Like, this is Shaniqua posting delusions, which is a straight up white supremacist account. No, you can't tell Somali nationalists to go back to Somalia. 9,000 likes. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? That's just a straight up Klansman, brother. Now, my point was this. It's not, I'm not even talking about like what she said or criticisms of what she said. I'm talking about America, okay? I'm talking about the United States of America and the way that like one of the major social media platforms on the United States of America is so unimaginably openly fucking racist. Holy moly. Okay? Holy moly. There are varying degrees. There are varying degrees of like pervertry. You are also the poster child of needing to leave Turk. I refuse to be lectured about racism by someone who hates white people. Okay? It's just like all this shit. It's crazy. We're sending you back with her. Time to brush up on your Somali. This is where we're at. The loud, ignorant minority. It is, I don't know, like if you scroll down, it's like this. Twitch star is on ban for alleged racist slur live on stream. The racist slur is cracker, by the way. Like, bro, you can't even report racist people on the site. That's what I mean. Like, it's this is not a substitute. Like, there's no world in which, for example, let's say I'm debating Candace Owens. Okay? Candace Owens is a white supremacist. I would never call her the N-word, okay? And then turn around and be like, well, guess what? I was actually making an argument about her white supremacy. Like, that's an insane thing to say. It doesn't work like that. You know? Hasan, coping hard with no actual arguments. It's crazy isn't an argument. You're not arguing with anything of substance. You're coping so hard. Brother, there is no argument to someone telling a black Somali Muslim refugee, now American congressperson to go back to Africa. What is the argument there? If you don't consider that to be racist, you are racist as well. There is no reason to like try and debate you and challenge your position, because what is the source? There is no, like, what is the premise? The premise is you think that someone, okay, you think that someone is personally more invested, okay, in what? Somalia and Somali people than American people, okay? Which, by the way, a lot of our constituents also are from Somalia. So what the fuck are we talking about there? There is no, she's putting Africa above her American constituents. Okay? You're not like, you're trying to personally make an argument that then justifies your racist narrative in this situation. Okay? Africa. Yeah, she's putting Africa above America, brother. Do you think you would get less hate if you weren't of Turkish descent? I'm assuming you still have the exact same values now. Probably not. Calling me racist isn't going to debunk my argument, which is my point towards you. Your argument is ridiculous. She is a U.S. congressperson. A U.S. congressperson represents their constituents. Some of their constituents that have family members in Somalia, even if they are themselves Somali or not, doesn't fucking matter, are going to make certain statements. I'm not even arguing with the statement that she made. I don't even know what she exactly said. But if she is talking about like, the entire region where Somalis live is once again going to be greater Somalia, including like parts of Ethiopia or whatever, that is an argument that you can deal with on its own virtue. You can say that's irredentist. I don't agree with that. That is actually unacceptable. But to say that like this person is not a real American, not a real U.S. congressperson, has dual loyalty, this sort of stuff, that is racist. And let me further elevate the conversation and maybe take it to a different place, okay? That perhaps other people will be able to understand, okay? People that defend Israel are not engaging in dual loyalty. I do not make this argument. I don't say, oh, well, why do you care more about Israel? You must be, in the pocket of Israel in the sense that, like, you are literally like, you have dual loyalty. You care more about Israel than you care about America. Putting Israel's interests above the interests of Americans, okay, is done at the behest of American foreign policy. It's not done because someone is like secretly an agent for Israel. Does that make sense? The new alt-right playbook video dropped today, relevant to this discussion. Anyway, so you're arguing with emotions and no prep of what the topic is? What are you talking about? Calling me racist is not going to debunk my argument. Brother, her sentiment is totally separate from this point of from this conversation. Okay? Her takes are entirely irrelevant to this conversation. You want to know why? Because people that say go back to Africa, or people that say go back to Somali, fuck you, you're not a real American. When they say that to someone like Ilhan Omar, they're not just talking about Ilhan Omar. They're talking about every black person, which Matt Walsh has absolutely said to other black people as well. So this is something that you need to recognize. There is no way to like debate around this issue. Okay? Like, she can have bad opinions. She can have opinions that you disagree with. But to say, well, her loyalty lies only with Somalis and no one else, not her constituents, not America, you're just a racist piece of shit. She's a U.S. congresswoman, okay? You might not agree with her, but the notion that she does not care about her constituents is wrong. She has time and time again won her reelection campaigns, okay? She's time and time again won her reelections. And on top of that, her constituents seem to like her. Okay? She is pushed for lunch programs, school lunch programs. She's pushed to defend trans people. And as a part of her duty as a congressperson, she has also done a lot as far as criticizing American foreign policy. She not only defends her constituents, she also defends other people that are outside of her immediate district by being one of the very few people that actually does legitimately criticize U.S. foreign policy. Okay? There is no argument you can make in this situation. Like, we jokingly talk, for the record, when we talk about Ted Cruz, for example, okay, and we say, go back to Canada to Ted Cruz. Or when we talk about, like, why don't you, that's a better argument that you could try to make. If you wanted to, like, actually catch me with a gotcha, I could explain to you the differences between someone who's a refugee from Somalia versus someone who voluntarily came to the United States of America after, an immigration process or whatever from another first world nation that is directly aligned and has, like, is a part of the OECD structure and is an American ally, and how that is like a joke that you can make, like the differences between white people versus non-white people, for example, one being the dominant in-group that has the power versus the out-group that does not. But I don't think you care about all that stuff. I think you just specifically You just specifically wanted to be racist and now want to argue on why that racism is somehow permissible and should be permissible. This is not a good substitute. So Nancy Pelosi gets a pass telling Asians to go back to China. First of all, Nancy Pelosi didn't tell Asians to go to China. She told, it's even funnier, a Jewish lady from San Francisco to go back to China. And I literally criticized her yesterday. Okay? Yes, Nancy Pelosi is a piece of shit. I do not agree with Nancy Pelosi, and I think she's fucking insane. You are not making a good argument. Okay? Why do you think I am pro Nancy Pelosi? I missed that stream. Good on you for criticizing her. Yes, it's because you've been following since yesterday. The day that you followed is the day that I criticized Nancy Pelosi, but also I criticized her on Twitter as well. The notion that I'm like this petulant lib who, no matter what, defends the Democratic Party is silly. Okay? You followed on the stream that I shit on Nancy Pelosi for saying that, by the way. Anyway, defending trans law, such a soft group of people that need defending. That's great. Nice, man. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, trans people definitely don't need defending. They're not marginalized in this country. Okay. You are Nancy's strongest soldier? Yes. Nancy Pelosi wants you to watch the ads at the top of the hour. I don't. That's why I'm telling you, you should subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get one free Prime subscription a month. We are so back. What a stun lock. This is one of the worst aspects, in my opinion. This is one of the worst aspects of like talking about these issues. I wanted to briefly just like touch on the Matt Walsh take and how people try to justify that kind of commentary, which is just pure unadulterated racist bullshit with like, well, actually, it's kind of valid because I don't agree with what Ilhan Omar was saying. And Ilhan Omar was like, you know, saying something bad and wrong, which is why we can just be, you know, racist towards her. That conversation is ridiculous. Okay. And not only is that conversation ridiculous, thank you, 34MKD50 for the 50 get the subs. Not only is that conversation ridiculous, but it also takes a shit ton of, like, it takes an emotional toll on, I think, not just myself, but I assume many other fresh off the boat immigrants in this community. Not saying that I'm a fob immigrant myself. I'm an anchor baby, right? But ultimately, like the notion that, you know, you should just go back to your own country no matter what is a ridiculously racist principle that does not seriously apply to like any white people. No one is telling Trump to go back to his own country. An example I use with great frequency is the notion that like Donald Trump, for example, is more of an American than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is, when AOC's family has been American citizens for significantly longer than Donald Trump has. Donald Trump's family lineage spans back to his grandfather. His grandfather is the one who came to the United States of America. Okay? AOC's been in the country for much longer. Okay? AOC's family has been American citizens for many more generations than Donald Trump. But in the eyes of Americans, AOC is less of an American than Donald Trump is, because they're fucking racist. That's the whole point. That's the point. That's the entire point, is that like, oh, if you're brown, doesn't matter how long you've been here, you know, you're not a real American. Okay? It's gross. MAGA doesn't care about generations. Yeah, well, my point is that the underlying assumption that you are not a real American, even if you're an American citizen, okay? The underlying assumption that you are not a real American, even if you are an American citizen, even if your family members have been American citizens for many, many generations, is racist. That's it. You can try to square that circle as hard as you want with additional post hoc rationalizations as to why like this commentary is actually totally permissible, totally valid. But ultimately, what you're doing is, alienating a lot more people that recognize that this is what you're doing is racist. You probably don't give a shit about it, but it's not really an argument that you can make, and you shouldn't make it. Okay? Anyway, moving on from that. The girl that broke down job hunting for later. Okay. Being a member of diaspora is such a mindfuck, especially Somali diaspora. People left not because they wanted better opportunities, but because they wanted to survive. Somalis are very proud and always speak about going back and helping rebuild, but they don't. Most second gen diaspora stay in the countries they sought asylum in. My name is Hasan. My family has been in America since like the 40s. What you think people think when I tell them my name? I mean, I know what people think when you tell them your name. They think the same shit when I tell them my name. So, you've been shitting on Nancy for years?
No, send me fucking emails like Nancy Pelosi. Stop sending me emails, man. You fucking dumbass. I'm never going to give you money. I hate you, okay? You're such a piece of shit. You're literally making me not want to ever fucking vote Democrat ever again. Jesus Christ, bro. Every time something happens, dude, I swear to God, every Democratic staffer is just like rock hard. Oh my God, did they fucking take away abortion rights from women? I am so fucking hard right now. I could cut a diamond, okay? My nipples are rock hard right now. Holy fuck. Time to do a mass blast of emails. Hey, I know times are tough right now. I know inflation is fucking sky high. But guess what? You should probably give us more money. You should give me, Nancy Pelosi, like 100 millionaire who has the most prolific, best fucking analyst on the entire planet, best stock trader on the entire planet, Paul Pelosi, right at her fucking heel, and you want more money from everybody, dude. Send me fucking...
There is no I want to end it with this, okay? There is no justification to tell someone to go back to their own country if they're in the United States of America. Okay? If you had a white name, people would definitely be more charitable to you. James and Joseph Monroe, brothers from Dallas, Texas, white Republicans of Texas Coalition. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, that's me. My point is, there is no justification for saying go back to your own country, okay? That's just not how it works. Yeah, it kind of feels like when people say Jewish people are secretly backstabbing / have dual loyalty on the principle of being Jewish and having nothing to do with the state of Israel, even before Israel's founding, it's othering the person perceived to be different. Yeah. Also, it's not Jewish people that have loyalty to Israel, okay? It's most Americans. And it's not loyalty to Israel on the sake of Israel. It's loyalty to American imperialism. So, ridiculous. Anyway. Huh. They always keep rerunning their lies. Obama's birth certificate or Hillary Clinton having epilepsy. Yeah. It's like seeing those videos of people telling Native Americans to go back to their country. Yeah, it's beyond that. It's like telling someone to go back to their country isn't just like wrong if that person is a Native American or, a black person that was like brought here, or his parents, great grandparents were brought here with the slave trade. Okay. America is built on the foundational principle of immigration, okay? Unlimited immigration. The notion that like some immigrants get told to go back to their own country as a substitute for like a more racist opinion is just the truth. That's how it's ridiculous. The part of the problem isn't that well, Ilhan Omar's a refugee, right? Versus like someone else that is an African descendant of slaves is like has been here for generations. Like it's not about like how long you've been here. If you're here, you're an American. That's it. Okay? You chose to be here. The fuck are we talking about? You chose to be here. What do you mean? You worked harder to be here than the dumb fuck that was just born here and took it for granted his whole life. I'm sorry. It's a ridiculous notion. Ilhan Omar's worked infinitely harder than this disgusting little cretin to be in the United States of America. Okay? As a refugee from Somalia, she has worked infinitely harder to be in America. The notion that she is un-American or hates America or hates her own constituents and should go back to her own country is just simply racist. It's just purely racist nonsense. So anyone that tries to act like Matt Walsh gives a single shit about Ethiopia or Somaliland is ridiculous, okay? I guess for me, it's just like something that I hear so much from liberals and conservatives alike, especially conservatives, but even liberals recently, as I've like talked about American foreign policy more and more frequently with respect to Israel. It's gross, it's disgusting, and it does end up, I guess, impacting me in ways that I wish it didn't. That was my moment of honesty, and it took an hour because I had to like deviate and have to like defend the position that saying go back to Africa is actually racist to a chatter that wanted to be like, actually this is a real valid argument. Like, it fucking sucks. Anyway, holy shit, dude. Jesus Christ. All right. Immigrants put up with imperial units after coming to America from their civilized countries. That's enough effort in my book. I was watching the CNN 1982 interview of a KKK imperial wizard this morning, and guess what his idea for Africans who were complaining about segregation? You got it. Yep. No, it's just, yeah, they got one trick, dude. They got one note, and that is just racism. And it's so funny because it always is the same, and it always devolves into the same thing. It's like, go back to your own country, or talking about diversity. That's the new one, by the way. That's the new fun one. Is just straight up, it turns out the new substitute for the N-word is diversity, okay? Lauren Witzke is a white nationalist, and she posted this on January 27th. Okay? She said, diversity hit the slopes. Okay? Which is really great, because when she just put this pure unadulterated white supremacist nonsense out there, what happened? Well, Twitter happened. Immediately, they found out, and I didn't know this either. We all found out that she literally got arrested for like possession of heroin and methamphetamines. Okay? Like everyone was eating her ass alive, being like, "Oh wow, that's great. So what's up with your your charges of being a fucking Nazi meth head?" Okay? But that didn't stop her. 2 days later, she's back talking about diversity on said slopes. And then she posts like a wipeout of a dude attempting a sick ass trick too, which is so funny. Like, anyway, I said to that, white supremacy has to be some kind of brain issue because she's still posting about black people skiing after the entire timeline found out she was arrested for meth and heroin possession. Yeah, it's such a lovely photo too. Where is it? Where the fuck did it go? Where was the original tweet that I was at? Oh, yeah. White supremacy has to be some kind of brain issue. Because the entire timeline found out that she was arrested for meth and heroin possession on the first tweet's QRTs. I said, like, take a day off, lady. She has no refractory period for being racist. Okay? You shouldn't be worried about them slopes. Possession of heroin, possession of methamphetamine. In Bradley County, Tennessee, baby. And it's so weird. Like, you're such a fucking weirdo. And honestly, here's the thing. This is how racism operates, okay? You're a pathetic. You are a pathetic fucking worm, right? Your life is a sequence of L's. L after L after L after L that you have taken. But there is an underlying mythology that your dumbass, racist, inbred, hick parents have force-fed to you. And that mythology is alluring. Because in the real world, you're like, my shit sucks. I got arrested driving under the influence and was found to be possessing methamphetamine and heroin, right? Like, that shit sucks. My life is dog shit. But if I close my eyes and believe the notion that, like, white people are superior to all other races, and if I consistently reinforce this racist mythology, then I'll feel better. It's pure copium. Okay? That's how it works. White supremacy works in this way. It is just a way for you to shift responsibilities and instead of like engaging in some level of self-reflection and self-improvement, it causes you to go, no, but I'm just like still better than like non-whites, right? Like I'm still better than black people, right? That's how white supremacy works. That's how racism works. Okay? That's it. It's pure copium for fucking losers. Aptal herif Türkçe konuşsana. Oğlum sen Türk değil misin? Allah Allah küfür etme. Saçma sapan sallıyorsun milleti. Nasıl bir insansın sen? Aptal herif sen ırkçısın. Bro you're racist. Yeah. Bir hafta bir kendine gelirsin artık. 7 gün sonra görüşürüz. Öpüyorum. Fuck. So, like I said, it's just you only engage in this kind of behavior. You only engage in this kind of behavior if you're just like perfectly fucked up. Okay? Like and this is yet another perfect demonstration of this because the fact that she is trying to say like this guy sucks at skiing and posting footage of the guy demonstrating expert level skiing is a perfect depiction of how fucking stupid racists are. Okay? Like, you can't, this is objectively higher level skiing. Like, he's literally attempting a trick. I can't ski like that. But because he's black and skiing is supposed to be like white people activities, she thinks that she can get away with being like, look at this fucking guy. Look at this fucking diversity on the slopes. Okay? Do you understand? Like, that's the funniest part. Racist people look at this and forget that, like, this is already, this is like a high level action. This is not an easy thing to do because they just hyper focus on the fact that he's black. Okay? And go, yeah, black people, they're not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be doing that. That's why they're bad, right? Ha ha. Many such examples. Another example. Oh, first they call black folks lazy and on welfare. Now they throw a fit every time we get a job. Yeah. Hotep Jesus. Retweet to scare a conservative grifter. Is Hotep Jesus switching lanes? What's happening? Oh yeah, I mean he is a Hotep, so I guess he's like Hotep Jesus is like Ben Shapiro, like how Ben Shapiro rides for Israel and aligns with like Nazis on everything except for obviously anti-Semitic conspiracies that are not real, obviously, but still. Like Ben Shapiro is like 99% Hitler except for tying everything back to like Jewish people. And Hotep Jesus is like Ben Shapiro, but I guess he just like disagrees with conservatives when it comes down to like disagrees with conservatives when it comes down to like DEI. That's funny. For those of you who don't know, Hotep Jesus is like a staple on the Laura Ingraham show. If you want to get a better understanding of like what his perspective is like. Okay. He is a conservative grifter. Like Tariq Nasheed would not do. No. Dr. Umar or Tariq Nasheed would never engage in the shit that Hotep Jesus does. This is like, there are varying degrees of like, there are genuine major differences in black conservatism, and you guys are totally oblivious if you think that like I thought Hotep Jesus, given the limited interactions I've had, like the content that I've seen from him, I thought Hotep Jesus was like a Jason Whitlock or a Jesse Lee Peterson type of black conservative. Turns out it's not. He is like, he believes in all of the weird nonsensical bullshit that conservatives believe in, except he still rides for black people, I think, which I did not know. But like, for example, Tariq Nasheed or Dr. Umar, I don't think would ever align with conservatives at all. As far as like white supremacists, like they would not, I don't think they would go on like a white supremacist show. They would not do that. Important distinctions. Dr. Umar would never be around white people on purpose, except for if you're at a New Jersey mall and you're getting a phone number. You're right. From a cutie. I'd 100% start subscribing if you had Dr. Umar on the stream. I would love to have Dr. Umar on the stream. I love him. He is the GOAT. Yeah, unless you're at Cherry Hill Mall. Dr. Umar already addressed those false allegations, brothers. Stay woke. Yeah, false allegations. Yeah, listen, you don't understand. He was just getting her number to you know, tell her like, stay away from me. Be gone, white devil. Would you give Dr. Umar? Would I give Dr. Umar my phone number? Yes. Falling for a CIA false flag operation meant to slander the good doctor. I thought you were better than this. As you guys know, Turks have actually played a significant role in Yakubian mythology. We were, I believe, Turks and Turkey was where the first, like, Yakub brought the first whites, right? I think, right? Didn't the Turks like? Didn't the Turks literally like? I think they were like the original people that were keeping the whites contained. What was it? Fuck. She chose a video with only him, by the way. Oh, that's right. I don't know if this is plain racism or baiting for views, but it's actually crazy how we got a whole group of white friends doing this with him, but she made sure to choose the single video with only him in it. Oh, dude. I mean, yeah. See, this is the funniest part about like debating racists. It's just like, we already know she's racist, but it's pretty funny. Like, that it's pretty funny to see the mentality behind like her trying to desperately find a clip that like only shows the black dude on the slopes. But yeah. What was this? I think General Monk ushered white people across the Bosphorus and forbade them returning across it. Yeah, and then General Monk, I think, like, told the Turks at the time, or whoever the fuck was there at the time, in, like, the Anatolian region to, like, keep the white people contained. This feels made up. Excuse me, it's the real history of the world. Hello? Island of Patmos in Aegean. Yakub used selective breeding called grafting to create the white race while in his island fortress. Yeah. No, his army stayed and became Turkish. What is this, brother? What on earth are you talking about? How white people were invented by the evil Dr. Yakub? That's what I'm. And were enslaved for thousands of years. But then the white demons, the white devils came out. Oh, here it is, General Monk. I think this is it. Oh, this is it, yeah. Dares to go next. Like General Monk orders to chop 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 next. This is good shit. This is really good shit. It took Yakub 600 years to manufacture his tribe, pale evil albinoids on the Isle of Pale.